All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our Major League Baseball video here today. For Thursday, May 27th, my name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now guys, we've gone 6-3 in our last 9 premium sports picks on my Patreon website. We're also 2-0 in our last couple of NBA tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. And the good news is this, we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We currently have over 1,225 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, guys, we're going to start off in our 3 o'clock slate. I think we're going to skip most of the double headers here. But anyway, we're going to start with the Royals taking on the Rays. 3:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Tampa Bay Rays are -180, total 7.5. Shane McClanahan for the Rays, Brady Singer for Kansas City. Now, Singer struck out 46 batters in just 45 innings of work. This Royals pitching staff has given up just 5 total runs in their last 3 outings. And they've cashed in on the run line in 13 out of 22 road games. This Kansas City pitching staff also ranks in the top 10 in road strikeouts, top 5 in road hits allowed. The Royals give up only 3.6 runs a game when they travel. They're taking on a Rays club who's got a losing record at home this year. Their lineup also ranks dead last in the league in strikeouts at the plate. They're fanning 10.6 times a game at the Trop. And when it comes to the number in this one, Tampa's gone 60% to the under as the home team. Kansas City's 16-6 to the under when they travel. I'm going to lean toward the Kansas City Royals +1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next game, Blue Jays, Yankees, game 1. Hey, there's a doubleheader. 4:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees are -130, total 7 flat. Domingo Germán for the Yankees, Alek Manoah for Toronto. Now, Manoah is making his first start here this afternoon, but his team's lost 6 out of their last 7 ball games. They certainly can use a spark here. This Blue Jays pitching staff has given up 6 runs or more in 6 out of their last 9 ball games. Toronto is actually in the bottom half of the league in hits allowed per contest. Now they're taking on a Yankee club who won 6 out of their last 7 ball games, 14-10 straight up on their home field this year. This Yankee pitching staff walks less batters than any other team in the majors, and they also rank in the top 3 in strikeouts. Domingo Germán comes into today's start with a 4-2 record and a 3.05 ERA. The righty has also got himself a 1.11 whip. Now, total-wise, New York 16-8 to the under at Yankee Stadium, 30-18 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays are 16-10 to the under when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the New York Yankees -130 and the under 7 runs. Next game, Orioles, White Sox, 8:10 p.m. East. The Chicago White Sox are -230, numbers 8.5 flat. Dylan Cease for Chicago, Bruce Zimmerman for Baltimore. Now Zimmerman's just 2-3 on this season with a 5.59 ERA and a 1.55 whip. Baltimore's currently in last place in the AL East, and they're 15 games below 500. Now the O's are also in the middle of a 9-game losing streak. They're taking on a White Sox club who finds themselves in first place in the AL Central, top 10 in striking batters out. This White Sox pitching staff allows only 3.2 runs a game on their home field. Dylan Cease is 2-1 on the year with a 3.18 ERA and 56 strikeouts. When it comes to the total on this one, the White Sox are 60% to the under at Guaranteed Rate Field. Baltimore's 15-10 to the under as the away team. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago White Sox -1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. Next game, Cardinals, Dbacks, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Arizona Diamondbacks are minus a $1.15, totals 9.5. Matt Peacock for Arizona, Carlos Martinez for St. Louis. Martinez comes into today's start with a 1.12 whip. The Cardinals currently find themselves in first place in the NL Central, top 10 in the league in hits allowed. This Cardinals pitching staff has also allowed 2 runs or less in 4 out of their last 8 ball games. They're taking on a Dbacks club who's right in the middle of a 10-game losing streak. The Dbacks, they're also just 3-19 straight up in their last 22. They're dead last in hits allowed per contest, bottom 3 in runs allowed per game. The Diamondbacks are giving up nearly 11 hits per contest at Chase Field. Matt Peacock comes into today's start with just 15 strikeouts and a 4.91 ERA. Now, total-wise, the D-backs have gone 60% to the over as the home team. St. Louis is 14-10 to the over when they travel. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals, plus $1 in the over 9.5 runs. Next ball game, Angels versus the A's, 9:40 p.m. Eastern start time. The Oakland A's are minus 155, total 7.5. Chris Bassett for Oakland, Shohei Ohtani for Los Angeles. Now, Ohtani's walked 22 batters through 30 1/3. The Angels have also struggled on the road this year, winners of just 9 out of 22 when they travel. LA's currently 5 games below 500 right now, and their pitching staff is dead last in the league right now in runs allowed. They also walk over 4 batters a game. They're taking on an Oakland club who's in first place in the AL West, 7 games above 500 for the entire year. Chris Bassett comes into today's start with a 4-2 record and a 3.69 ERA. The righty has struck out 65 batters and has a 1.10 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, Oakland 60% to the over as the home team, 80% to the over against a divisional opponent at home as well. Meanwhile, the Angels are 14-9 to the over against a divisional opponent themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Oakland A's minus 155 and the over 7.5. Next matchup, Giants versus the Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. This game's currently off the board. Alex Wood for the Giants, no confirmed starter yet for the Dodgers. But no matter who they end up starting on the bump here today, this LA pitching staff is in the top 3 in runs allowed at home, first in the league, and fewest walks allowed in that same category. The Dodgers are currently 16-6 on their home field. And they also find themselves just 1.5 games back of the Padres for first place in the NL West. Now they're taking on a San Francisco Giants club who tends to strike out an awful lot. Once again, an analytics-heavy team, a team that strikes out a lot. It's just the way analytics work. I don't get it. But the San Francisco lineup, they fan 10.3 times a game on the road, and they also lost 3 out of their last 5 ball games, with all 3 of those losses coming against the Dodgers. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the LA Dodgers winning this one outright for some money line cash. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Rangers versus the Mariners. And that's going to be a 10:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Seattle Mariners are minus 115, totals 8.5. Chris Flexen for Seattle, Colby Allard for Texas. Now, Allard comes into today's start with 23 strikeouts in just 23 innings pitched. He also has a 3.15 ERA as well. The Rangers have won 3 out of their last 5 ball games, and they also scored 5 runs or more 4 times during that span. This Ranger lineup ranks in the top 10 in road scoring, top 10 in road hits. Adolis Garcia leads the majors with 16 home runs. He's also in the top 3 in RBI with 41 of them. Meanwhile, Nate Lowe and Nick Solak, they have 8 homers apiece as well. They're taking on a Seattle club who lost 7 out of their last 9 ball games. The Mariners are currently 4 games below 500 right now, and they also rank dead last in the league in hits. This Mariners lineup gets only 6.3 hits a game, and they score less than 3.8 runs per contest as well. Chris Flexen comes into today's start with a 5.09 ERA and a 1.57 whip. When it comes to the total on this one, Seattle's 15-9 to the under at Globe Life Field, 12-7 to the under at home against the American League. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Texas Rangers plus $1 and the over 8.5 runs. And with that, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Kansas City plus 1.5, under 7.5. New York Yankees minus 130, under 7 runs. Chicago White Sox minus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. St. Louis plus $1, over 9.5. Oakland minus 155, over 7.5 runs. I like the LA Dodgers winning that one outright for some money line cash. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 6-3 in our last 9 premium sports picks on my Patreon website. We're also 2-0 in our last 2 NBA tier package picks on that very same Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Texas Rangers plus $1 and the over 8.5. Once again, guys, if you found yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here today or this week, please feel free to welcome yourself to the Brock Page family by hitting that subscribe button as well. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to have you. But with that, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. If you guys do end up deciding to get a package here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But once again, most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.